Oh, it's March 1st. We had a leap year day yesterday. Did everybody just love that? That's like too cool, right? A day that happens every 4 years, only every 4 years. I find that so interesting. Um, okay. Um, are there any questions about our Creative Type Archive, the quizzes, which you're responsible for, the book, or any of the exercises? Oh, the book I was talking about is your textbook, your type rules book. Not that monster publication that's got everybody freaked out, right? My mother. My mother had to go to a doctor's appointment today. I can't believe I'm recording this. I should stop this. Okay. So all of these exercises, which you do get graded on, I didn't mean to go to it, which you do get graded on, be sure to submit. They are lightweight exercises, meaning they're not a heavy grade. They're going to be a small portion of your grade, but it's a giveaway grade. It's really hard to fail at these babies. So to boost your inspiration for typography, be sure to act on them. Okay, so now I didn't make that live, did I? That's not good. Let's go back. So here we'll go down to our restaurant menu. Did you guys enjoy this this lecture? Did anybody go home and watch the movie? The spinning plates? Really? I did. It was the first thing I did. Once I found the trailer, it was like I made sure to eat something really good while I was watching the movie because it was all about food. All right, it's worth watching. I enjoyed the movie. Okay, so then let's start with this. Who would like me to pull up their design brief on the restaurant menu and talk about it? Yeah? Leah, you're so courageous. You are. All right, come on up here.
Oh, wait, what?
Come on. I am, but come on up here. Come on. Come on. See, she is courageous, isn't she? Come on. She is courageous, isn't she? Yes. Just come on. Here. Sit in the big queen chair right here. There you go. And so you created a Google link for me?
I put in the question and answers.
Oh, in the Q&A. Aren't you
yeah.
beautiful? All right. It's wonderful.
Yeah, I just did it.
Beautiful. Okay. Okay. So let me help guide you. I know I put you on the spot, but let me help guide you. So, and if I remember correctly, actually I want to open this with Acrobat Professional. If I remember correctly, you were new to InDesign, is that true?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, downloads, there we should be. That's you, right?
Yeah.
Little design brief. There. All right. So tell us just tell us your story. Okay, let's see what you got. How's that?
Okay. So I chose Crush Cakes Cafe. I'm not sure if anyone's been there, but they used to just be a cupcake place, but now they made it into a cafe. And I really like it. I love their cupcakes and I love their food. The theme is definitely kind of like they have like graffiti all over, which I think is cool. It's kind of like a hippie theme.
Are you thinking of Santa Barbara or are you thinking of Carpinteria?
Probably both. I went to one near Goleta.
Okay.
They opened one up, and it's just like there's like love and like graffiti and like cupcakes.
Did you put images here?
Oh, I actually have some on my phone. I should do that.
Okay,
Add that.
it's okay. You can Google it for us while you're up there too.
Oh, okay. Right now. Yeah, it's really cool. It's actually one thing that caught my attention, and I wanted to do it.
Try Goleta since that's the one you saw.
Yeah.
And then click images and let's see if we can get it.
Okay.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's it, but that's like the inside. Oh, and in the inside, it has like, I love how they use like, they use chalk, or not, that's not chalk, but it looks like it's a board. I don't think it has it. I have it on my phone though.
Okay.
But yeah, the cupcakes are really pretty. I love the cupcakes. But they do stuff like that, like designs with like,
Art on the wall?
yeah,
Uh-huh.
I thought that was really cool. Yeah, so Shannon Newman was the owner and founder of it, and they connected with Intelligentsia, which is a coffee place. So it's like the best coffee, and I would say the best cupcakes like combined, which is really cool. I did the little font thingy. Tried. I actually liked all of them.
Okay,
So-
can you go back to the first page?
Okay, yeah.
I'm going to interrupt.
No problem.
Okay, so Leah's new to InDesign. So she created her design brief with a default letter page size, right? Which is great. She created a headline on there that says design brief, so we know what the heck she's talking about. And then she's created a hierarchy of information of the headline, the subhead being history, and then she's organized all the information here, clientele and the name and so forth. There's more type A design ways to make it aesthetically more interesting, like
Okay.
name, and then you can have a tab alignment. And I can show you guys this because I know InDesign's new to you, so I know
Okay.
you're working through it. And there's ways to make it more scannable, to add space before or space after a paragraph, to not necessarily make your line length so wide. Remember, we've talked about this, which is 8 inches or 7.5 inches, maybe to make this 2 columns, right? So I'm not going to critique it because you've organized it. You've done many successful things that are really, really clean.
Okay.
I'm just going to show you. So don't fret.
Okay.
There's no reason to fret over this. If it looked disorganized to me, I would tell you.
Okay.
I just find that in the future, as you become designers, professionals, and you work with clients, everything you should ever submit or put out in the world should always look polished and professional. Okay, that's my attitude. If you decide to write a client a handwritten note, then you find your stationery that you use for handwritten notes and you handwrite a note, which is nothing wrong with that either, but it's always polished and professional.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, and this is looking really good. There's just a few details to be uber type A like me.
No,
If you
yeah.
want, you might not want to do that. So
Yeah, I was trying to fit it on one page.
yeah, which is really good, especially on resumes. One
Okay.
page. Okay, keep going.
Okay. These are the
And the reason why I had you stop before is your type experiment sheet looks perfectly organized. You've got the same word, different font exploration. You've thought through your menu categories here, the cafe, the different menus. That's great. I'm gonna critique you for your Adobe Kuler. Whenever you take any image and you place it, which is probably very new to you, placing images. When you place an image, I'm sure you wanted it to fit, but to make it fit, you had to squish it up, which looks kind of ugly. Okay, so don't distort them. If it's 100% wide, it should be 100% scale for the vertical height of it.
Okay.
So since it didn't fit, just make a new page, call it color palette,
Okay.
put it on a new page.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
But it looks very frosty-y to me.
Okay. I actually didn't know you graded for looks when it came to these.
Well,
I didn't
I
know
did
this.
not on the first one whatsoever.
Okay.
And the only reason I'm pointing it out now is I want you guys to step up your game.
Got
Okay.
it. Okay.
All right? And that's why I'm so proud of you for doing what you're doing. So you're rocking it.
Thank
Okay?
you. Yeah, okay, then I would have done this way differently and prettier too, but
Well, that's
that's
okay. It's okay. So you found a menu, you found it, and you popped it on the page, is what I see you did.
Well, I typed most of it.
You typed it all in.
Yeah.
Oh, you deserve an award.
But that's okay.
Ask John's philosophy about it.
I mean, I copied there, but like I typed it all because like I didn't know you could copy
Copy and paste?
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought like.
That's okay. We're proud of
Okay.
you. We're proud of you. Okay. So you got the menu down. That's great.
Yeah, menu.
Which will
like,
certainly be more beautiful on your menu, so don't worry about this.
yeah, it'll be.
Okay.
Sandwich it. And, like, wraps.
That's great.
Specials. Yeah. And then
Yeah.
I just kind of put their logo, just for like.
The coffee logo.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's the
done that.
coffee.
It's great.
Then there's the dessert menu.
And she spelled dessert right, you guys. Do you all know how to spell dessert?
S's because there's more sugar.
Wait, go ahead and tell us.
There's 2 S's because dessert is sweeter than dessert.
Yeah, right. 2 S's because you always want more, or it's more sugar, or yeah, it's cute.
Kind of scared for my. Okay, I didn't know how to crop. Okay, well, they're really
That's
bad.
great.
Okay.
That's
thank you,
great.
Thank you.
So put a headline there that says Ruffs,
Okay.
logo Ruffs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so use that design brief headline,
Yeah.
copy it, put it on a new page, put,
Okay.
design brief where you put history was a subhead,
Uh
change the word history to logo Ruffs.
huh. Okay.
All right?
Okay.
You don't have to recreate every page and make it beautiful, make it easy.
Okay.
All right?
And then the colors are way off on these, but I tried to get some ideas of.
That's great. Good for you.
I tried to make a cupcake out of
Type.
type. So
Uh-huh.
it is all type, but I'm not
That's
sure
great.
it's that good.
That's great. Those are creative ideas. Good. Is that your whole that wow? That's like you guys gotta give her credit. That was awesome. Okay, so so let's talk about this. Let's go back to the image of the Crush Cake restaurant.
Oh, okay. On Google.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So find one image that feels like the flavor of the place that you're thinking of. And understand it doesn't have to really be Crush Cakes. Like she could go find some sweet shop in, Bath, England that she likes and guide her design on that restaurant environment, okay? It doesn't have to be Crush Cakes because the menu you're going to design for Crush Cakes will not be a wall menu.
Mm-hmm.
It will be a paper printed, hold it in my hand menu,
Uh-huh.
right? And so
I don't know this.
So here, that might be their menu, which you would never design like that because we don't think it, right? Because it's ordinary. So now you start to think, okay, it's Crush Cakes. We got the feel for it. It's got a little funky design. They use hand lettered type up above. I actually have one of their T-shirts, which is a Day of the Dead skeleton face with a cupcake nose and hearts for the eyes, and it says peace, love, and cupcakes. Right? It was so cute. It was such a cute gimmick. And so for your menu, you're going to decide what is a reflection of the place.
Yeah.
You know, is your menu going to be super gimmicky and it's going to be the shape of a cupcake,
Mhm.
right? And you open it up and it's a cupcake book. You know,
That's kinda cool.
yeah,
look
it
at
could be
that.
cool. Could be. Or but now they're a cafe and maybe they want to like kind of move away from the cupcake focus.
Yeah.
And now they want to be a cafe where they want to be, let's say, date nights for all the students up in Goleta area, right? And they want it to be kind of fun, kind of funky, and maybe they're serving now beer and wine and stuff like that. So now they want to make it a little more upscale, but a little funky. So maybe they keep the theme of the license plates and the hippie thing, the
hippie.
peace love, right? The peace
Yeah.
love cupcakes. So now you start to think, what's your menu going to be like, and how are you going to create that experience with your menu?
Mhm.
So, I think you've got a fabulous start. I'd work on your logos more,
Yeah.
and I'd start to think about how the logo would work in branded materials. So how it would define your menu.
It has triple C's, so I was trying to somehow
Oh,
get
triple
an idea
Cs.
of like doing. Yeah.
Crush Cakes Cafe.
Yeah. I thought I'd make something clever with those triple C's.
Oh,
That's what I was really focused on for the logo.
anybody got any ideas?
Yeah.
No? Yeah, maybe.
It's like I tried doing triple C's there. It's like.
First thing I saw was nested C's. Like
Yeah.
It'd be
Tell
cool
me,
if you did, like, a
Grace,
spectrum
is that
too.
right, Grace? When you did the nested ampersand, remember her ampersand in her poster that had
Yeah.
line inside? So I keep thinking of a cupcake where the C is a nested C and a nested C and a nested C or something. I don't know. Just keep going with it.
Yeah.
That's what doodles are for. That's why you're supposed to have 752 sketches.
Like that was
You know, 751 of them could be horrible. It's okay. But that one good one's going to show up in some moment,
Mhm. Definitely.
right?
This one right here, like, is supposed to be the one right there. Like I was trying to explain how.
Yeah, it's great. It's your notes.
Yeah.
You don't have to be good at drawing. Trust me.
That's good.
Nobody has to be good at drawing. As a designer, you don't need to be good at drawing. There's many people who can help you do that.
Perfect.
And crush cakes probably aren't things that are smashed, like crushed.
I know. I was thinking of like crushing the word in, but that's distorting it.
It's just, well, not only is it
Well, you're
distorting
allowed
it.
to for the logo, right?
What's that?
You're allowed to.
You
for
can
the
mess
logo.
around with the
Yeah.
type
You can?
logo. Yeah, you can
Okay.
mess.
What if you did like 2 layers of cake and then had like crushed cakes in between the layers?
Oh, that's really smart. Ooh,
You could do
I
that.
like that.
But then I always think, well, you're really talking about smashing your crushed cake because who wants a flattened cake? Maybe you're talking about, oh, I have a crushed cake.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to play
Right?
pink. And wait, in
It's
one of
a,
whoops. Oh wait, no, that is it. I made the crush. I made.
hit Command 0. You can
Oh,
go
okay.
Command 0. Try
Okay.
that. There you go.
Okay, I was trying to crush in like pinks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. That's
Right.
smart.
Or crushed cakes, it could have crumbs around the word,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, that's cute.
Little crumbs, or I don't know, but so just keep going for it. Keep going for it. Where you're going to go from what you did, which was most excellent,
Thank you.
okay, most excellent, is more thinking about the logo and design, because next week what you'll come back with is mock-ups of where you think that you're going to head with your menu and how it might be used. So in a place like Crush Cakes, you have to decide, and I don't think it was in your design brief, is it a sit-down place for meals? Do you order at the counter? Will they deliver the menu to the table? Will the menu be something that sits on the table? Will, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Think about your dining experience and what you want that dining experience to feel like. Okay? Does that help you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't able to make 25 in time.
That's okay.
Yeah.
25 is really,
I got to 4.
I told you guys I had to do something online for my graphic design degree, my master's. I had one class where I had to do 100 logo sketches. That was excruciating. I started then just changing the font on what I liked. Okay, there's 5 more down. But the funny part about sketches is somehow it sparks or something.
Yeah. No, it definitely helped a lot once
Okay.
I did it. Yeah.
Yeah, we did great.
Thank you.
Okay, who else has courage? Yeah, John. John has courage.
Be sure to look at the posting for today's lecture because I found some tools online like logomark.it that'll help you with these processes.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, you're getting recorded help. You didn't even have to take notes. It's on a recording now. How great is that, right? So will you locate it for me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I added it in the assignment.
Okay, so let me help you get there. So if people have you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do this. Here we go.
And the first part isn't completely done. I was gonna wake up.
Is it in
early
the
this morning.
comments?
No, it's in. I couldn't get it to. Something else. It wasn't working, so
Hang
it's
on.
just like in the.
Give me 1 millisecond here. This is probably going to
That's
take
okay.
no time. There we go. There. Okay. Downloads. There. And downloads.
So it's not completely done. I'm just gonna wake up early this morning and do whatever's left.
Okay.
So I'm doing D'Angelo bread. My dad is the baker there, so I figured I'd see if I could get a different menu.
Can you imagine how great of a finals class we're going to have with D'Angelo Bakery, daughter of D'Angelo Bakery?
Bring you some goodies.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's a German baker. So it's a German bakery with an Italian name, and it serves all kinds of food. So I'm still having trouble like pinpointing what kind of a place it really is, because they serve like huevos rancheros and then like French toast and I guess basic breakfast stuff, but it's just lots of different kinds of things. So, and then they also do sandwiches and stuff. So I wasn't really sure what direction to go. Should I look up images of it, or?
Yeah, so this is your design brief part. So in
Yeah,
your design
this
brief,
isn't done.
it's more elaborate information.
Yeah.
Do you know that?
Yes.
You don't
I
need
just,
to review
I
it.
wasn't.
You didn't get there yet.
I-
Okay, it's fine. It's
It's
fine.
not quite finished.
Okay. Go back to the, to PDF. Yeah, after that. There you go. And just scroll down.
Scroll down. These are my logo sketches.
Ah. So what do you, so you're redesigning the logo for the bakery itself that exists, or you're visualizing a new bakery?
The same one.
The same one. Has anybody been there? So raise your hand if you've been there. That's it. Okay. Life is good, right? Okay. Yeah. And so when you think of the bakery, okay, so hang tight a second and just give me some latitude, right? So if you are to think of the bakery, describe it to us. You know how I put Anton on the spot the other day? Yeah, she's like, oh my God.
Great.
So describe it to us, what it feels like for you to go there. How long has your dad owned it?
It's like 10 or 12 years.
Okay. So you're a 10-year-old girl, your dad bought a bakery,
Yeah.
he's the baker there, and you're 10 years old and you walk in the bakery. Now tell us what it feels like from a 10-year-old perspective.
Well, it's really warm and it smells really good because there's always fresh baked stuff there. And you know, I see the whole wall of pastries up there and you're drooling. It's really warm. It's got like this nice, it's like a nice cafe feel. You want to sit there for a while. The tables are all pretty low. I don't know, it just feels more open than it is. It's a pretty small space, but it's comfortable and kind of cozy. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay, that's good. So when Cindy described that, doesn't everybody have kind of a memory of being a kid going into a bakery and what, like your mouth starts to change, right? Your mouth starts to remember the experience. And that's the point of, so if you listen to this recording now, you just listed the key descriptive adjectives for the bakery, right?
Yeah.
That should go in your design brief.
Mhm.
This is what the experience feels like to walk through the door.
Okay.
Okay, now what does it feel like to walk through the door with a friend? You go with a friend, they've never been there before. You sit down at a table, yeah, my dad's the baker. What do people describe to you when they're experiencing it?
The food's really good. It's all natural. It's all made from scratch. So that's like a main part of the whole thing. Like we offer something different. It's just like a nice social area, I guess. But you don't want to sit for too long. There's usually a lot of people at the door.
Right.
So it's busy and it's loud. It's not like a quiet little cafe. They're just like banging in the back because they're still making stuff, and then there's everyone talking. So that's
Yeah, yeah. So think about it, so when you design a logo, you're not designing a logo for a place that is snooty, even though you're a gazillionaire and you go buy your bread there. You're designing a menu for a place that you just said, cozy, warm, smells good,
yeah.
comfortable.
We have a really wide range of clientele too. You get like Julia Roberts comes in. We get a bunch of movie stars. We also get there's a homeless guy who likes to come in and buy pretzels. So
Right.
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 It's a really wide
Exactly.
range.
Yeah. So when you're thinking of your logo sketches, what are you thinking of?
That's like I've been playing around. I mean, I like the idea of the wheat flower, not the wheat flower, like just the
Uh-huh.
thing holding it. That's what I've been trying to pinpoint. I was thinking either like more classic, like not basic, but more not super modern and like not minimalist
Uh-huh.
and modern, because that's just not really the feel. It's like all wooden and everything. There's no like sleek countertops.
It's also a working bakery.
Yeah.
You walk in and there's metal trays everywhere, and there's
Yeah, there are people working 24
and you
hours
look
a
in
day.
the back, and there's the oven, and the fan's blowing to cool down the back. So that's the noise.
Yeah.
And,
It's not like Yogurtland where you walk in and it's all like modern and
Right.
fresh and everything.
Right.
Everything's dusted and flowered.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Right.
So I didn't want to give that feel to it.
Okay, so a type only logo. Okay, so you've got a good start. You've
And
got a
then-
good start.
I had some trouble with InDesign. Those are I haven't really gotten to the digital roughs.
Okay.
Just trying to work with them.
Yeah. Do some font exploration.
Yeah. Oh, I have that. There's.
Yeah. I think that'll help you. So you did font exploration, which is great for the menu items.
Yeah.
Do some font exploration for the type you might choose to use if you use a digital font.
Mm-hmm.
And you might decide to commingle them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I was just kind of.
And do you have a color palette going on?
Yeah, but I guess it didn't make it into the PDF.
Okay, not yet. Not yet. It will. So that'll
it was
help
there.
you. You know,
Mhm.
it's a very natural color place.
Yeah.
Kind of a no frills.
It's not. That's why it was basically just like a black and white color palette and maybe like red or mint. I can't really picture it with much color.
Yeah, I would take photos of the place. And I would start to think about if you're really designing it for the existing bakery,
Yeah, well,
'Cause-
maybe.
okay, and not a fantasy bakery,
Yeah,
not a different environment, but literally that one,
yeah,
then I would go get super inspired for yourself. And I would go take photos of your dad baking with his hands in the dough. Or those big vat mixers where you pour in all the flour and then one egg goes in and it totally changes
Mhm.
the surface of the flour. I would take a ton of photos, not because you can use them in your menu,
yeah,
but because you're going to create a flavor for it
Mhm.
that's going to help you. And then down the line, because you're going to be a famous graphic designer, you're going to take those photos and maybe turn it into a brochure with a new logo. So take your own images of the place to be inspired. Go have fun. Go zoom in on one of those tri-berry scones. No. It's a type only menu. It is part of your mood board, yeah. But what's going to happen in the future for you guys is, for example, one of the ways I showed you, if you go to the menu assignment, remember when I showed you the environment of where menus are hanging or something like that? Maybe you decide that you take one of your photos and show your menu by the register because it's
Mhm.
well, stand at the register there, the menus sit, and maybe you create a little rack that your menu goes in, and that's the photo you display your menu at. So, or down the road, you're going to do it for your portfolio, and you decide that your menu then becomes something more. You've now got your own mood board. I mean, you get the back scene fun stuff to inspire. You may have a really good time having that.
Mhm.
Right? You're off to a really good start. Just keep going. This logo stuff is really hard.
Yeah.
Don't let yourself go away from. If you go back to your logo sketches, your logos are looking terrific. Walk away from your wheat shaft and start looking at a larger,
Yeah.
broader variety of fonts. Also, start thinking about. I don't know, maybe people have ideas. Maybe if pretzel bread, I never thought of them as being known for the pretzel bread, are they?
Well, they're good. I don't know. He
They're good
spent
pretzels.
3 years in Munich, right?
Okay.
I don't know if they're known for
So
it. but-
then take the shape of the pretzel you drew
yeah,
and put the type in the shape of the pretzel. and
Okay.
get rid of D'Angelo bread above it. Because you're giving me art with a pretzel, which
Yeah.
you can't use in the logo,
Yeah.
but you could make the logo type into a pretzel. Or you could take the L, or you could take the G, actually, in D'Angelo and replace it with your pretzel.
Wait, so our logo can have nothing, no piece of art in it. It's just
Well, you just heard me say she could take that pretzel. So I'm looking here at this shape right here. I'm looking at D'Angelo in all the uppercase letters. I'm thinking you could just take that little pretzel, reduce it down to the size of the G, pull the G out, stick the pretzel up there, and maybe that's okay. Right? It's still logo type. You know what I mean? This is not logo type unless you found a
I was
glyph.
gonna do like these or something.
Yeah, and then it'll be an ugly logo if it's a V, right? Like it's a really lovely idea, but maybe you find a glyph
Mhm.
and you can say, but Vicky, it's a glyph. It's a digital type glyph, Vicky. How could you argue with me, right? But don't fall into the predictable. It's really hard to do logo type. And that's actually really kind of lovely. It's a lovely, you have really lovely ideas. You have really lovely ideas. Just keep going. And it is a logo type. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I'm too stubborn on this logo type thing, huh? But what happens? This is like,
It's hard to get the whole idea across without.
yeah, but you know, the other part is I find if I tell students that it's not logo type, then they go get a cool picture of a cupcake, they stick the cupcake there and below they write the word crush cakes and they're done. And that is not what this is about. Which is why you guys are going to really have to sell me on how you can get away with anything that's a graphic. Is that fair enough? You get the idea. It's pushing you, I know. It's hard. It's very easy for us to go on the internet or go to ClipArt or go to something and type in, you know, latte and find 7,000 coffee cups with lattes in them and stick it there and find some funky type you like and call it a logo. And that's not what I want you to be doing.
So since she pretty much hand wrote those, like the D'Angelo bread ones, and like that's not like a real font, would you be able to use that, or do you have to find a font that looks
Yeah,
really
you
similar?
said
to
we
it?
She can
Just use
100%
lettering,
use it.
Okay, so like
Who was defending that one? You did? Yeah, no, you can handwrite the font, no problem.
okay, even if it doesn't look at all like a font that exists.
Exactly. No problema. Let's say you make it Jade's Steakhouse
Mm-hmm.
and it's your big flourishy signature. No problem, you go for it. Absolutely. I encourage you to do some kind of creative logo type thing. And your letters are really great. There's that font, what's it called? Mr. Mustache. There's a cute, free, downloadable font called Mr. Mustache. Everybody should just write that down because it's way cute. And there's another one called Dotsie, Dootsie. And they're kind of like this. You know the movie Juno with that font that's really lean and fine type and it looks like handwriting and the letters are a little wiggly. And Mr. Mustache comes with all these dingbats that are way cute and corners and flourishes and fun stuff.
So we could just like go find those and put those on our logo. And
Yeah,
use them as
it would kind of make me a little sad, but yeah. That's what I mean. There's so much out there. You know, this is a typography class. You're designers, and there's two sides to this. John and I talk about this a lot. There's two sides to this. One is you can find anything on the internet. You can find pre-made art for yourselves. You can find downloadable fonts and glyphs and graphics. And there is no crime in that, right? But what makes you a designer is knowing how to take that and elevate it to have more meaning and more value, I believe. That's the distinction.
Knowing what to steal.
Knowing what to steal and knowing if stealing that is illegal or not.
And then make it your own.
And make it your own. In other words, if you're stealing something, literally stealing it, it's not a free downloadable font, but you're stealing a font or you're stealing a photo, you've stolen it, period. Especially if you guys want to get paid for the work you do. People pay you for original work. They also pay you to know the right stock photo to get to put in the brochure, right? You pay for it. You have the rights to use it. Everybody's familiar with stock photography. Anybody not? Anybody gets that? So it's knowing how to use your resources well. You have some beautiful stuff going on here. You really do.
Keep going.
That's good. Yeah, you keep going. Yeah, you got a great start. I do want to see original photos for your mood board though.
Okay.
And I want you to just like get into it. You just need to get up when your dad does at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like, I can't believe she just made me do that. But then she'll come to class at 1 and we'll have a little bread in our hands. Okay, that's great. Who else wants to go up here? Who's got theirs uploaded or can show us? Yeah, come on, Anuja. Did you upload yours?
Yeah, somebody did.
Okay, saw it, right? It's a PDF that I downloaded. Open. There we go. Here you are. There you go. So when I was talking to you about design briefs and hierarchy, so go back to your first page, please. So this is an 11-inch wide page, and had Anuja decided to make her type 10 inches wide with the margins, we would cry because we wouldn't be able to easily read it. So she created a format that's predictable, meaning I'm assuming every page here is her headline, and that's her subhead. This page is the overview. She created a 3-column layout. Here's her 2 columns, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so just notice the format. So there's a hierarchy, a headline, here's your subhead in a different color. Here's her, I call them subheads. Here, clientele, menu categories, etc. It makes it pretty fast to scan. So professionally, when you present stuff like that, we're about typography and we're all about readability. We're all about readability. So if, this is her menu, which is making my mouth water. There's many things and not necessary to do in the design brief at all. But there's many things that I get to be a stickler about in the future, which has nothing to do with the design brief, everybody. Like when you have the hours of operation, I'm a stickler for your minutes have to line up with one another, so the 5 would line up under the 11. And I will show you how to do that. That's all done with tabs. Okay? And then, so AM and PM would line up, and the word 2 would line up, and then again, the 3 p.m. and the 9 p.m. would both line up. And those are the types of things that on your menu, not in your design brief, no problem on your design brief, I would be a stickler for. So those are the types of things I can demo for you that you may not have previously learned or even thought about from your previous classes. So you're on.
So I didn't really go with any existing restaurant. I just made up mine, and I have a mood board so that I can decide what kind of menu or the price range I'd like to go for. So it's going to be a traditional Indian cuisine restaurant, and I named it Saffron. And I feel that in Santa Barbara there are not enough Indian restaurants which are really good. I can tell you. I mean, that's what I feel because I'm an Indian and I know what Indian food is like. I guess that's why. Anyway, so the restaurant is so when you go on Yelp, you have these price range categories which has like a $1, $2, $3. So I thought it'll be like a mid-range restaurant. Everything is probably $10 and above. So that's why the age group is, I feel like when you're around 27, you're probably accomplished and able to afford something that's $10 and more. That's what.
We hope so.
So yeah, that's why I put 27 and upwards. It's going to be a family restaurant. I categorized the food into appetizers, entrees, and all that. I basically just picked it up from Flavor of India's website. This is my type study. I'm still not sure if I want it to be like hand lettered or something like Valentina here, which is curvy. So I'm still thinking about that, but I mean,
Hang
we'll
on.
see.
Hang on a second.
Yeah.
So you have beautiful type. So Anusha has really beautiful type experiments up there. So you could take a look and see that Valentina would probably be the first font, and I'm just picking it because it's the first font, would probably be very readable body copy. It's an easy to read font. But then you could see below it, what's it called, Manus?
Mons handwriting.
Mansa?
M-A-W-N-S. M-A-W-N-S. Mons.
Mons?
Yeah.
Okay. Mons.
Right. Yeah.
A Mons. Okay. That would be great subhead or headline or logo type, but not body copy because it's not readable. Same thing with, what's it, Balin script?
Braden's.
Braden script.
Mhm.
Pretty headline, fancy Nancy, right? But not good body copy, not very readable. So if you get into some flourishy kind of type, it might be the name of the entree, right? Like
Yeah.
saffron chicken, whatever. I
Yeah.
don't know. Sorry, it's simple, but you got it. And that's fine. And then the description below that on your menu might be Helvetica. Might be
Something
avant-garde.
readable. Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Okay.
Okay. And hang on.
Yeah.
And notice, so project, restaurant, brand, and menu stayed in the same location on her design brief because she either created a master page. We demoed master pages. Is there anybody in here who wants me to re-demo master pages? We can watch the video. What a good idea. Okay. And then notice type studies then changes the headline, but they're in the same place. So this layout, the idea is to make your life easy, right?
These are the colors because when I envision saffron, I would like to have a lot of bright colors because that's what Indian culture is about. Lots of colors, bright and really loud. This was my logo development process. So I wanted to list down before I started making the logos what it will describe because it's not a real restaurant. And I came up with these adjectives to help me visualize and simplify my thought process. This was from the portfolio class. It really helped.
It's called, we zoom it up. You just make my day so happy. So what Anusha did is called mind mapping, where you put, and Anton's going, I know what that is, where you put at the center of the universe whatever you're trying to think creatively about. And then you can branch out endlessly because, like, for example, you might take the word flavorful and she might go into different categories off of that, which have to do with spicy, salty, sweet. And then off of that might come spicy, might come chutney, jalapenos, chilies, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you can see that it can grow endlessly. Everybody gets that? Yes, sir.
Yeah, I did the same thing in my sketchbook.
Beautiful.
But what I was gonna say is, usually when I do the mind map, is I go to if I want to look for more adjectives, I usually go to thesaurus,
Yeah.
and then if I look like together,
Yes.
and then I get a bunch of synonyms.
Excellent. Great idea.
Yeah.
Great idea.
And so I did, I sketched out logos. After doing all this, I thought I would like fuse, do a fusion of S in saffron and what S sounds like in Hindi script. So this is, I didn't have, I couldn't get to, doing it in Illustrator, but I can zoom it in here and show it to you. So this is going to be my final logo. I know it looks a little messy, but this is how it's going to be. It's
And is that a Hindi script also?
Yes. So this over here, which looks like 2, is the S sound in Hindi script, and this is
the
the
what
S.
sound?
So saffron. So
Did you say saffron in Hindi?
it's actually kesar in Hindi.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, it's a completely different word.
Totally. Interesting,
Yeah.
isn't it?
And this is going to be the S from English. So
Beautiful.
that's what I
Beautiful.
was thinking. Thank you.
And will you hand ink it, or you'll do it digitally, or?
I'll clean it up more by hand first, and then I'll scan it and trace it on Illustrator.
Great.
That's what I'm thinking.
Beautiful.
And this is how far I could come with the logos which I already made. This over here is, I don't know what those are called. So saffron is actually a flower, and those things that stick out from it is what is extracted from the flower. Is it called pistil or stamen, or I don't know what?
Yes, both. The things that stick out are called the pistil and the stamen.
Oh, okay.
I think the pistil is here, and I think, who's a botanist? The pistil comes up here, I think, and the stamen comes off of the pistil, I think.
Yeah.
One like the male and one's the female part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's so unusual.
The stamen is where the eggs come from, and the pistil's the
Something
male,
like that.
something like that. We're
Yeah.
gonna do a science project after this, so we'll figure it out.
So yeah, that's what I wanted to do. So anyway, so this is that, and then I went ahead and made the mood board, and this is what it would be if the food was served there.
And the mood board was in Pinterest, and you snapped a
Yeah.
screenshot?
Yeah.
Beautiful. It's Pinterest is a really easy way to collect images.
And this is what the restaurant would look like if.
I want to go.
What's your favorite Indian restaurant in Santa Barbara?
I think Flavor of India is the best so far. Yeah, there are hardly any. I think there are only 3. Yeah.
So which of those environments do you like best?
This looks more like fine dining.
Uh-huh.
So this one. Yeah. But yeah, if it had to have like drapes, this would be it. Lights, this something.
Beautiful.
So I chose all these orangey colors because that's what saffron is. Right? It gives out that color. So go with the tea.
Well, that's everything.
Yeah, that's
Beautiful.
about it.
So, does everybody understand the value of a master page now to just make your life a little easier as you display stuff? And you don't need to worry about cramming things on pages. You know, PDFs, the paper's free, right? PDFs, you can have millions of pages. So organize it aesthetically so it's pretty, not because you have to get it on a page, right? So it's great. This looks like a great start.
Thank you.
Does anybody else want to share theirs? No? Does anybody have questions about theirs? I have a feeling next week we're going to be clamoring to share. Is that right? All right. Let's see where to go from here then. Kelly, do you want to? You uploaded yours.
No, it's not quite. I don't have my sketches and stuff in there. Okay. I started it.
All right. Let's look at our schedule for this and see where we're at. And see how I can help support you guys. How many of you feel totally at ease in InDesign? Or let me reframe that. How many of you feel you'd appreciate design support in setting up paragraph style sheets, hierarchies, and different menu layouts as possibilities? Would like a demo in that? Is there anybody in here who would like that? You got to go high because I can't tell. A few of you. Some, oh, now more of you. Even John wants it.
No, I was going to say, I can link several lectures that I have where you've done that.
Yeah, okay, that'd be good. Sometimes it's easier to watch and do, but yes, that would be really lovely. Okay, let's go back to our schedule here for the restaurant and see where we're at in class. Okay, so here we are. We're in week what, everybody?
So
7. Do you know what that means? Who said 7?
We're almost halfway.
Right. Wow. That's crazy. All right. Did I fix the formatting for everybody? Everybody's cool with that now? Okay. If I put something up here as a link on that masterclass page, it's because I really thought it was pretty cool to read, like how to pair fonts and how to think about the anatomy of a font and consider ways to pair them. So here, for example, that you're looking at on the screen is really what we kind of talked about with Anuja's design brief, which is setting up type that works well together. I find, generally speaking, when you're pairing fonts, if you take a strong typeface, like in this case, it's called League Spartan, which actually I've never heard of. And it's very geometric, and it's sans serif, and it looks like it could be avant-garde or Futura or even Gill Sans, honestly, in a bold or extra bold. And then you take Baskerville, which is incredibly classic and very elegant and very professional, and textbooks use it. And notice the way a hierarchy of information is delivered. These are very important. And although there are old lectures that you can watch, I find that probably when you leave class, things like fall out of your head and you do the work that's in front of you that are assignments and less about searching other resources. Yeah, okay, that's what I would be doing. So I think what I'm going to do is this right now. I think, because I want you to start thinking in terms of how you can create different menus. How many people think they want to create a multiple page menu?
you mean like a spread?
Yeah, like a spread, 4 pages. The other thing is, I hope this doesn't belong to anybody. I'm going to turn on the lights, so if you could all look up here for a second. I'm going to kind of go off on a tangent, and next week I'm going to remember to bring paper in here for you guys, okay? I think we had part of the conversation last week of you won't be able to necessarily print your menu on a paper that you wish to print it on, but you can find a background like the texture of the paper. We talked about that, right? Okay. So So I have a bagel restaurant, and it's called, what? It's a C. What's it called? Carolina. Right? Carolina's Bagel Restaurant. That worked out, didn't it? Actually, it's a little backwards. Carolina's Bagel Restaurant. And you see, Carolina's Bagel Restaurant is indeed a bagel, right? So who would know how to build a menu like that? Really? Maybe. Could be. You kind of did with your water bottle, right? Okay. So I don't want you to think that your menu has to look like that, because you're not creating a fun experience for me. You're limiting my joie de vivre, right? Don't do that. So I want you to understand, I'm going to demo this today because even if you know how to use InDesign and even if you know how to use paragraph style sheets, I'd love for you to learn how to do something with pizzazz. Maybe, maybe Anuja's Saffron restaurant is this menu, although she adds the joie de vivre because she creates that beautiful logo type that mixes Hindi and English. And she decides that the face of the menu is shocking neon pink, Pantone color that exists. It's a can of ink of neon pink. Do you know that? Neon fluorescent pink. We'll find it for you. And then you decide that you emboss your logo, which means bumped up. Does everybody know what embossing is? Next week, John, I have to bring an embossing sample. Most everything's in the cabinet in the other room. And then you decide that there's a texture that you can add to it that makes the logo the color of saffron, which is an orangey, golden color, and it's powder. No, it's the threads. And maybe she decides to find a paper that gets mounted on it that looks like saffron threads. Would that be fun? Maybe. Okay. So I don't want you to be limited, and it's a pretty simple project. And for those of you who are just digging around in InDesign and getting started, I understand that might be beyond overwhelming to start with. But let me pick my 2 ideas and show you how to set them up. Would that help you guys? Would that inspire you maybe? Okay. All right. So let's start like this. So let's start with Carolina's Bagels. Okay. So Carolina's Bagel menu is a 4-page menu. Right? Why am I having so much trouble with this? Let's just see is backwards. Oh well, it's a backwards menu. So Carolina's Bagel, that's my problem. Yeah, it's still backwards, that's right. All right. We just have a backwards menu, all right? So it's a 4-page menu. This is page 1. This is page 2, page 3, page 4, right? So when you create a document and it's one sheet of paper printed, you have to learn how to set it up. So I'm going to show you how to set up the files. When you poke a hole in something like this, the paper doesn't come round, obviously. So you're going to print on a paper like this. You're going to create something called a die line like this. You're going to divide your pages right in half. There's a lot of ways to go about this. And you're going to have to also create a die line for our hole. So how to set that up and know how to have it printed properly is important. And if we did, for example, Anuja's sample menu here, and let's just say it's 2-sided, and here's your beautiful logo that I just screwed up. And we need to say this area of the logo, let's say there's a paper, rice paper. You ever seen rice paper? Yeah. All right, we'll look at the texture. Rice paper looks like it has saffron threads in it. And if we took rice paper and we covered your logo in it and we turned it golden orange, you might get that feeling. And knowing how to pull that off is important. And those things are okay with me as you embellish your type-only menu or your logo type, okay? And then maybe you decide you have a really intimate menu. You're a price fixed place. You get this choice, this choice, this choice, this choice. Or on the back, you list all your stuff. But you just want to keep it simple because it's a really small, intimate restaurant. It only has 10 tables. You know what to give people in your restaurant. I'm making this up because it's not that big, elegant one. It's a small, intimate space. And they come to you and they say, just take care of me. No problem. It's the kind of restaurant I like. I can't afford those restaurants, but I like them. So let me set this up for all of you, okay? All right. So let's launch InDesign and we'll get started. Which one should we start with, bagels or saffron?
Bagel.
Bagel. We're going for the bagel. See, Anton knows if you don't speak up fast, somebody else is going to pick the other one. Okay. All right. I mean, we could have a bagel menu that opens like that, but it really did work out pretty well, Carolina's Bagels, right? All right. She's going to have a bagel restaurant now, aren't you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. You know, all right. So let me turn on the lights one more time as I'm thinking through this, and let me also launch Illustrator, because I want you guys to feel comfortable with the software. I get really frustrated with this computer.
Little dog this semester.
Yeah.
Oh, we got new chairs, so.
Yeah, you guys comfortable? No. Hard. Yeah, they're hard. They're not dirty though. The other ones got so dirty, right? Yeah. When I first started teaching here, everything was so new. It was so pretty. Okay. All right, so the first thing I do before I design anything, just to be clear with all of you, so I want this to come next week, which I don't know if I put it in the instructions, but everybody should do this. Everybody should have a physical 100% scale prototype of your menu, okay? And just scribble on it where your stuff's going. So, for example, this is my 100% scale of my menu for the bagel place. It's all about, I have 3 menus. I have one menu for breakfast bagels, I have one menu for lunch bagels, and I have one menu for dessert bagels, which we call donuts, right? Right? And on my prototype, I'm probably going to have, it is a backwards menu. It's an opening backwards because books should open this way, but we're going to pretend we're in Israel, and this is the Israeli bagel restaurant, okay? Because that makes it open properly in Israel, okay? Did you guys know this? You do now, right? All right. All right, so here's my bagel logo, and then, all right, here we go. You know, if you steal my idea, you have to pay me for it. And I'm a really expensive designer. Okay, here's your logo. There's your bagel. Is that brilliant? You're going to steal everything out of it too. So here's the front of our menu. And I don't know what the artwork's going to be yet, or nothing. Maybe I have a little paragraph right here, which is flush left. That's what those 2 lines mean. And it tells the history of the bagels. How your great-great-grandfather had this recipe and taught it to you since you were like 3 months old. You used to go there and just play with the dough and passed it along child to child, right? And that's the story of your bagel restaurant. And then, so that's your cover, so you can see your logo. And then you open up the menu, and it's like this. So page 1, you might decide that your intuition might be to put type in circles because it's a circular thing. Before you do that, think how hard it is to read, okay, for anybody. So I'm not going to go get fancy like that. I'm just going to create things in boring columns. You might decide that around here it just says breakfast. And then you might decide here that it's got your drinks, flush left. You might decide here that it's got sides like fruit. And then here's your headline for it, drinks, sides, and then breakfast options, or breakfast options. And then here, it's all flush left. Now, the thing about menus also is you have to have prices, and how you handle the prices is really important. So I need to, maybe, no, John left. Somebody needs to write down, my writer downer, please. Tabs. I need to remember to show you guys how to make tabs, okay? All right. The other thing we're going to learn how to do is how to make the die line for this circle. So I'm going to forget the circle for the moment. I'm going to set up paragraph style sheets and work with tabs and type just to get started. And because I want to be particular for you. Oh my gosh. Okay, so it's a new document, and I'm going to make it around the size of our circle, which was, where did I put it? Where did I put it? Oh, here it is. So that's probably 10 inches tall by 6 inches wide, maybe. Okay. So here's how to make a 4-page document. I'm going to turn off, I'm going to leave facing pages on. I'm going to show you something weird about facing pages, so I'm going to make my document 5 pages. I'll show you why. I said it was going to be 6 inches wide, 10 inches tall. And I'm not going to set up columns, but I will always set up a bleed. So any document you have, you'll go to bleed and slug. And a bleed is, if you remember from your type specimen poster, the area that extends beyond the trim. And the default for that to be most simple is 0.125 inches, which is 1/8 of an inch. And because the chain link is selected, it means that all settings are the same, and it automatically populates like that. And we can preview it if you want. There. Now we're previewing it. And so now I have a page that's, like I said, 6 by 10. I generally don't leave very standard margins. I'm a big margin girl, so I generally make them like at least 5/8 of an inch. And now I have a 5-page document. When you have facing pages, it means you're creating a publication where here's your cover, that would be page 1, and then you open this, and that's called a spread. Page 2, page 3, page 4. You get that? That's one folded sheet of paper. Because I want my menu to be basically this side and this side. I made it 4 pages. You can see one page would have my C on it, right? My Israeli Hebrew menu, C backwards. But anyway, you're getting the idea. So this is what I'd like to do. What I would probably do for my menu is this. I'm going to open up did you have the food? Yeah, you did. Oh, but it's all the same. And Leah had tons of food. You can copy type off a PDF just by highlighting it. So I'm going to take your breakfast menu. I'm just going to work with this. Thank you for working so hard to type it. Okay? I can't believe how hard that is. You really typed it?
I was trying to put it into a specific way.
Okay. You wanted to enter it. Okay. So I want to compliment you on a few things when I pull this up. Yes, John?
You can also get it off like a JPEG by putting it through OCR.
Does everybody know what an OCR is? John will explain it to you right now.
Optical character recognition, it exists in Adobe Acrobat. You can use optical character recognition. But even better than Adobe Acrobat is online OCR, which is a service, a free service. You upload your JPEG and down comes the text file. It's usually word for word. Saves you a lot of time.
You know what? You guys have new chairs? I do too. It's like so comfortable. All right. Okay, so I'm going to go to the inside spread, pages 3, 4, and 5 of our menu. That would be this. Page 3, I'm not using my backwards menu anymore, okay? Because that's too confusing for us. I'll make the die line stuff. So page 1 is your cover, and page 1 will be the right-hand page 3 of your document if you're doing facing pages. If you're only doing a two-sided menu, this is not significant. Everybody get that? All right, I just want people to understand spreads. So if I have this menu and I want it to be a menu that has a cover, the inside of the menu, and the back side of the menu where you talk about all the farms that grow your foods for you, right? This is called a 4-page document, and the inside is called the inside spread. We're going to ignore page 1 because this is the easiest way for you to work with this file if you're not familiar with InDesign. All right? All right, so I'm going to go to page 4 and 5, and I'm going to just work with the type that Leah graciously typed up for us. Okay? And I'm on my type cursor right now. I recommend, notice that my fill is none, but notice I have a stroke going on here, which will just be the death of you. So go back to it and make sure it's none. Otherwise, you can have a black stroke around everything and not understand it. So now I'm just going to click and drag with my type tool into my margin here, and I'm going to paste the type that Leah gave us. And what I want you to know when you steal type off the internet, which is what you guys I'm sure are going to do, unlike Leah, who's way too devoted, if you go to type and you go to show hidden characters, you're going to see all these hard returns. And you want to make sure the hard return means that's going to be a paragraph break. All right. I wanted to make sure you didn't have hard returns after the word famous before you got to sour cream frosting, and you don't. All right. The other thing is, we talked the other day about the difference between a hyphen here and an em dash. And right now, I could select all my text, Command A, and I can immediately go up to my my paragraph panel here and uncheck hyphenate. So look at the word banana on the 4th line or something, and notice it eliminates all our hyphenations. I've just gotten rid of them. You'll never want to hyphenate a name. You'll never want to hyphenate a food. On menus, your line lengths are so small, you're not going to want to hyphenate those. The other thing is, an easy way to take hyphens and to change them is, I can right now hit Command C for copy. I can hit, I never would know where to look because I know the shortcut. I'm looking for find, which is, should be better at this. I hit there, find, edit, find change, there it is. You get a window like this popping up, and I'm going to paste the hyphen in there. And to make sure I get it the way I want, I'm going to highlight it. If you don't know the shortcut for an em dash or an en dash, you can go to type, you can go to insert special character, hyphens and dashes, and I'm going to use an en dash. That's not the longest one, it's middle, which is really great for numbers or years and dates and so forth. So now you notice that's a little bit longer. It's an en dash. So now I can copy this, Command C, copy it, go to change to, paste, and that's the symbol that I would not have known off the top of my head, which is why I did it that way. for find, and I can go to my entire document and I can change all, and it changed 9 hyphens for me. Okay? So I want you to understand, because you're going to be working with stuff that's challenging, I want you to understand little shortcuts to work with. All right. And I'm just going to set this up like a super boring menu. I'm not going to do anything exciting for you. So you learn how to make paragraph style sheets for yourself. So I'm going to select the word breakfast. I'm going to make it a big, bulky sans serif font for a headline. There we go. And I'm going to use Arial Black, which is big and hunky. It's a hearty breakfast font, right? And 12-point type is surprisingly large for a subhead, and particularly in bulky black. I will never, ever leave automatic leading. Leading in the InDesign software, and I think probably in Illustrator too, always has the default leading space from baseline to baseline is leading, and that space should always be controlled. The default is 120%. So if my type were 10, the leading's 12, 120% of the point size. Okay. So here's breakfast. It's 12-point type. I'm going to make it be 12 point on 12 point because it's probably only going to be 1 line length. I'm going to set my kerning right here, this space between each letter, to optical. So it's optimizing the relationship based on the software designer, the type designer's use of type. I'm going to set it to optical. And then I'm going to go to my paragraph formatting controls and add space after the word breakfast to add a little space so the type's not so tight. And I can just go right here to space after, and I can click once, which really is pretty great. That's, what is that measuring? That is measuring actually 4.5 points of extra space, 0.0625 inches. All right. And I don't like breakfast being so bold and black. It's really kind of not appetizing for me. So I'm going to make it sunshiny. So I'm going to go to my color palette here. I'm going to use the pull-out menu here for CMYK because I'm printing it. I'm going to reduce the black. I'm going to amp up that yellow. I'm going to amp up some orange, kind of mute it with a little cyan, maybe put a little black in there. Nah, I don't like that. And then I'm going to go take this, tear this off, and I'm going to locate my swatch panel, which is, oh, there it is, swatches. And I can drag this color swatch of that letter down here, and I've got that orange. Come on, come here. There it goes. There. Okay? So I added it to my swatches for the document. Mixed it, added it. All right, stick that back over there. So now I made the word breakfast orange, right? Now for style sheets, what I'm going to do just to start is I'm going to save my document. Save as. I think I told you I have a certain way of saving my document formats. Through time, I've learned the hard way how frustrated I get when I can't find things easily. I'm sorry for my spinning wheel. Is this good for you guys so far? Okay. All right, so I'm going to call this today's date, 03/01/2016 underscore menu, and I'll just leave it like that. You guys will know what to call your stuff. Desktop. I'm going to make a folder, a new folder called menu underscore demo. There you go. And then I'm going to save my .indd, my native InDesign document, right there in that folder. Okay. And now we're in the Vicky's workspace. Remember how we created that a long time ago? So in Vicky workspace, I have the choice of a paragraph style sheet. If I click it while my cursor's next to the word breakfast, and I click new paragraph style, a window dialog box is going to come up and I'm going to call it subhead. I'll just call it head because it's probably the only head I have. And head usually in type is spelled HED, so you can call it whatever you want. It's based on nothing, but if you look, it already picked up my font because I'd already set it. It already picked up the attributes I used. If you go down to indents and spacing, it already added my space after. If you go to hyphenation, it didn't pick up no hyphenation. Oh, it did, because there's no checkbox next to hyphenation, so it's not hyphenating. And my headline's done. Now I can select all this type down here, and I might decide to make it just kind of clean. So I don't know what kind of font. I get too tangled up in my demos on font. So let's pick Big Caslon. All right. A serif font works well with a sans serif font. A serif font is easier to read because the tails of the serif carry your eye across the page. You probably read that in your book already, right? Right here. Then we're going to select all our type here, all our body copy type, and I would suggest that it's pretty readable at 10-point type, but I'm a big believer in letting open up your type. So I'm going to give it 16-point letting, and I'm going to make it optical kerning, and I'm going to make it flush left, but I want to indent my text under my breakfast header. So I'm going to go to my paragraph panel. It's flush left right now, and I'm going to go to my left indent and indent my type. You see, that's 1/8 of an inch. That's good. And then I'm going to go to my space after each paragraph, so each piece of food, each menu item, I should say, not piece of food, and add space after. Okay. And now I can go to my paragraph panel. I can use my pull-out menu. I can make a new style. I can call this menu description items, and I'm naming it that specifically. And again, it picked up all my attributes. I don't need to demo that for you. Okay. So here's the difference though. We have Big Willie's Tacos as the menu item, and here's what goes into Big Willie's Tacos. So I have two ways of handling this actually. I think Big Willie's Tacos should probably be the item, and that's the description. So what I'm probably going to do is go back and make my description smaller. You'll see why. I'm not going to do it yet. I'm going to do Big Willie's Tacos. So I'm going to make Big Willie's Tacos the menu item, and I'm going to turn it into, I'm going to go to paragraph styles. I'm going to turn it into the head, but I'm going to make revisions to it. And so I'm going to go to my indent for it, and I'm going to indent in 1/8 of an inch. I'm going to go to my character panel for it, and I'm going to bring it down to 10-point type like my description was. I'm going to go to my paragraph panel, and I'm going to totally eliminate that space after. And I'm going to go to the letting, and I don't want it to be 12-point. I want it to be, no, 12-point letting, that's good. That's fine. Huh. Okay, we'll leave it like that. And I actually think I'm going to make it 9-point type and all caps. Okay, I don't know if I like that. What do you think? She doesn't like it. We want that. Okay, we'll get rid of the all caps. Okay, and then
Lighten the face and make it all caps.
yeah, we could do that, but we're not going to because she doesn't like caps, so forget it. And I don't like this hyphen business because I want to see my price over on the far right. So I'm going to do something. Now here's a lesson in tabs, you guys. Tabs are complicated, all right? And I'm going to duplicate this line numerous times below here so you can see what's happening, okay? So I'm going to take this line And what I want to do to it is in front, instead of the hyphen, in front of the dollar sign, I'm going to hit a tab. That's a flush left tab. In front of the dollar, after the dollar sign, in front of the number 9, I'm going to hit a tab. Okay, that's a flush left tab. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this line and highlight it. I'm going to go to type and tabs because this is going to be a visual thing for you guys right here. And I'm going to start to set these tabs, which have no information as to how they're supposed to behave. The InDesign tabs automatically make your tabs every ½ inch. But I don't want that. What I want is, I want this first tab to be a left justified tab, and I want it to be right here at the 4-inch mark. See what happened? Okay. Then the tab that's in right after the dollar sign, this tab, I want it to be a right-hand tab. No, let me think about this. I want it to be a right-hand tab, and I want to change that one. I'm going to have to change it back. And I want it to be probably right here. And then I'm going to go to this left-hand tab right here, highlight it, and make it left again. And you see how the 5 is now flush right, and the dollar sign is aligned right there. Okay, I'm thinking of your place as a diner and not something fun and funky.
Yeah.
So I'm also going to show you guys something for kicks in a second. So now I'm going to take this line of type where my tabs were set, put my cursor anywhere. Notice the word head got a plus sign next to it in the paragraph style sheet. Do you guys see that? It has a plus there because I changed the attributions of that paragraph style, and the plus tells me it's not perfect, it's different than the attributions. So I'm now going to use my pull-out menu. I'm going to make a new paragraph style. It's based on heads. I'm going to call this one menu item, not the description. You're going to notice it has the tab thing over there specified for me. You're going to also notice that the type size wasn't 12 point, it's 9 point, right? It picked up all the attributes I had, and I'm going to say okay. And now if I highlight all 3 of these right here, and I click paragraph styles, menu item, they all have the same attributes, but I didn't fix the tabs here, right? So if I highlight the space here, hit a tab, go in front of the 9, hit a tab, things will automatically align because I've created the right attributes for it. So let me show you how we're going to apply this really quickly. I'll get rid of the extra return. I'm going to delete these lines. I'm going to click right here on this line, Peace, Love, Granola, and where I have space, hyphen space, right? Remember, end space? I'm going to hit Find, Command F, paste that in there. Whoops, I didn't want all big Willie's Tacos. I did not want that. Highlight that, copy that, paste that, come back here. I'm going to paste the tab, copy, in front of the in place of the hyphen here, and I'm going to change all. Okay? And then I'm going to find the dollar sign, copy it, and after the dollar sign, wherever the dollar sign is, I'm going to make it a dollar sign tab. You see that? I'm doing a search for in place. You guys will see this in a second. I'm going to change all, which is going to change the first one. I'm going to have to fix it. But now, if we look at this, let's get rid of that one tab. So now if I click here, I'm on my menu item. I click there. I don't have to go in and put all my tabs in because I did that little search and replace business. Do you see how it's working super fast for me? Because I have the tabs where they need to go. I have the style sheet telling the tabs how to behave. And I have my menu descriptions working. Everybody get that? All right. So that's a shortcut I want you to understand how to do here. The other thing is, let's look at, here's the thing I was worried about for you, that extra paragraph right here.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just have to hit space, delete. Okay. The other thing is, you might want the V uppercase because it's the beginning of a sentence. So I can highlight description here, and I can go to description paragraph styles, right? Double click on it. Double click on it. There we go. Let me see where I can find this. Change case. And right now you have it all in lowercase letters. I can make it, oh, it's not going to let me do it. Sentence case. Forget it. Forget what I said. But I do want to change this. I want to change, watch this. Watch this here. That one. Watch this when I balance ragged lines. So in the description, I'm changing under indents and spacing to balance ragged lines. Let me turn on preview. And watch what happens to this. Not balanced, balanced. See what I mean? It will fill up the line length even if you have one word left. Balance ragged lines lets it stay more as a block of type. All right. And I'm going to say okay. But what I was going to say here is I can highlight this sentence, go to type, go to change case, and watch the E in eggs change to sentence case. Again, here, if you go to type, change case, change to sentence case. Okay. And that's a style thing. You might decide I was totally wrong, right?
Yeah, I liked the.
You liked the all lowercase, so I can hit undo, undo. There you go.
Yeah, that's okay.
All right. So it's just to understand how to do stuff. And now if we look at this page, you can see what you can see. And one more to go. The other thing is with, by the way, for the menu item, you can double click on it. A shortcut means you hit the command key on your keyboard and anything on your keypad numbers on the right. So my menu item might be a shortcut command 2 on the keypad. And now right here I can hit command 2 to control it. Yeah, John.
Leader dots?
Yeah, thank you. That's great. And John just wants to make this look like a real little diner. So right here, for example, this, notice that all of these here, this is a menu item. Watch this one. Watch what happens to this line when it becomes a menu item. See? I thought I had said all this as menu items. Watch this one as a menu description. There we go. Okay? You all follow me? Also, I'm a real stickler for this. If you're using an ampersand on a menu, like melted cheddar and jack copy, then it should be sliced red onions and tomatoes ampersand. Be consistent. Minutia counts. Okay. All right. So right here, I can click on menu items. I might make my smart key to be command 3. So if I click here, it's command 3. Here it's command 3. Here it's command 3. Here it's command 3. Command 3. Nothing's changing. And here is my, oh, command 2. That's what I did. What did I do wrong?
This is really random, but if you make shortcuts and you accidentally like choose a shortcut that's also something else, does it
It'll-
overwrite it and erase the previous shortcut?
You know, it's such a good question. I've done it before. No, I think it creates chaos. I don't know if it tells you. It might say it's already taken.
Yeah.
It might say it's already taken. Yeah, you can undo it. Yeah, you can undo it. But yes. Okay, and then John, for fun, says, well, gosh, if you will do this tab business, John says, I can't read easily all the way across there. Right, sorry, John, you can't, I know. I'm
Have a hard
sorry.
time.
I know. So he wants ... So we're going to take menu item. We're going to double click on it. We're going to go to tabs. We're going to locate this left tab right here, and there's something called a leader, which is what leads your eye across the line to that tab, and we can put a dot, and let's be preview when we do this. We can add a dot and get dots going all the way across the leader. We can add a dot space and space out the dots. Kind of neato, right? And you can make that anything. You can make it probably the number 4, which I don't know why, but you see what I mean? You could do anything. So it could be a symbol, it could be dashes if you think it's cuter, more clever, or something like that. And that's called a leader. And you say, okay. And now, because we used a paragraph style sheet, it applied to everything. And then we decided that it's no longer the saffron color menu with the breakfast. It's now fried green tomato breakfast restaurant, Whistle Stop Cafe. So we're going to go to menu item, double click on it, go to the character color, and find this horrific green, and say okay. And now we've got green, right? So this is the advantage of style sheets, because once you've set them up, they're great. The other thing is, on some menus, that green's just so bothering me. Oh my gosh, let's see what we can do with that green really fast. Some things I can't look at, you know? There. So I can take that green, I can double click on it. Let's see if it applies universally. I can add a little black, I can add a little magenta, I can reduce some of the cyan. Now we're kind of more organic, hippie breakfast place, right? And now I say okay, and our green changed, right? So once style sheets are applied or swatches are used, you can see how it's universally easier to change. So when you're doing your menu and you're making revisions and trying different things, like you did with your type specimen poster, maintaining your process, these changes from orange to green, do a screen capture, say, look what I did. Huh, I tried that. Look what I did. Keep track of it. Or save version 1 and version 2 or something like that. What I was going to start to say is this. If you have, for example, a lot of restaurant menus have a special. So maybe you decide down here, you have, here's my type box, and I'm done with it on this side. But I want to have a type box right here. And I'm going to make this a 2-column page so I can divide it. So right now my layout for each of my pages is only 1 column, but I went to layout margins, and I'm going to click preview, increase it so I have 2-column guidelines, increase my gutter because I like big gutters, and say okay. So now let's say I have a type box here, and I decide the background of my box is soft green. So I go to my swatch panel, I go not to my stroke, I go to my fill, I go to the green, I make it a 10% green. Can you see it on the screen? No, I didn't think so. Usually when you demo it, it doesn't show up enough. So 20, can you see it? Kind of.
Gray. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of ugly. All right, what we're going to make it is 70% green. Okay? All right. And then we're going to find some beautiful glyph. Okay, then we're going to go in here. This is a type box. It's a green type box. And we're going to make a special called, who's got a good organic green breakfast? Never mind. Green juices. What a way to start the day. Okay, now I didn't use consistent case type there, did I? So I have one choice of highlighting it all. I can go to type, change case, title case. That makes everything an initial cap. I probably make the A lowercase and the T and 2 lowercase and the lowercase. What a way to start the day. I might hit a soft return command, which is a shift return to break my line. I might go to my paragraph panel and center it. I might choose my last typeface that I use, which will be up here, called Helvetica New Black. Didn't I use that? Oh, black. Arial black is what I used, wasn't it? I might make this 9-point type. I might make the font white there. And so now I have, I'm going to call this new paragraph style sidebar, which is my green box head. And it's going to pick up all my attributes. I'm going to change it to optical kerning. I'm going to change my leading to 11 point. I'm going to change my indent spacing is centered. Say OK. Now, when you look at this box, what looks yucky? What looks poorly designed?
The top.
Why?
Because the G is bleeding.
Yeah, because your type is touching the edge of the box. So you take the box, you go to Object, you go to Text Frame Options. Thank you. Brain freeze. And you go right here to this thing called Inset Spacing. I'm going to turn on Preview. And you inset your text so it doesn't touch the trim of the box. And it makes it look better. And you control it there. And this didn't work out very well because What a Way to Start the Day looks really stupid with day on the next line, right? So maybe what I do is I have green juices and I put in a hard return. And right here, this line of type, I make paragraph styles. I go to description on menu items, right? I decide that I want it to be white, or I have to go to swatches, and it's white. And I want it to be, oh, Big Caslon doesn't have italic. That is so not cool. All right, we're going down to Caslon. See if we have Caslon here. Do we? Do we see Caslon? Adobe Caslon Pro. There we go. Okay, we're going to make it italic. That's a What a Way to Start a Day. We are going to change it to be 9-point type. We're going to make it not indented because the other one was indented. Remember, I'm fixing what was. I'm going to make it centered. And now I have a dilemma because all the type I have up here is that Big Caslon nonsense. And now I want Caslon italics, so I'm going to change my description to Caslon. So here's how I control this. Watch. I go to paragraph style sheets. I'm right here. I go to menu item and description. I change this to Adobe Caslon. There we go. Adobe Caslon. There. And I changed it, right? So now I've got my whole font family to work with. This one here, I'm going to call it reverse, because reverse means white type on a dark background description. I'll make it, it's based on menu items. I'll make it a smart key of 5, let's say, and say OK. Green juices here on this one. Should I make that? We're going to make that a new paragraph style sheet, and we're going to call that, what did I call it? What did I just call that box? Inset. Didn't I call it inset spacing? Did I already do it? So, oh, sidebar head. There we go. So I'm going to take my sidebar head, and I'm going to change it because I want to reduce the space after or reduce my leading. So somehow I've got too much leading going on here. Let's see what this is. Oh, reverse description, inset spacing. I'm going to reduce my leading. You watching me? There we go. All right. So now I have my sidebar, and now I can create a sidebar that has insets, that has new menu stuff, right? Yeah, John.
I think putting something in that colored background, a tint background like that's dangerous. It might affect the legibility, especially when you go to print it. It's just totally different from what you expected. I found a tool online, and I'll try to remember to link it, that evaluates that for you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that would be so cool. John finds amazing resources. So we've reviewed style sheets, right? We've reviewed inset boxes. We've reviewed the purpose of paragraph style sheets. Now, for example, you might just copy this whole thing, hold your Option key down and your Shift key, and slide it on over and reset your menu on your other side. You've got style sheets. So here we go. Now on your, and this is kind of an ordinary menu. There's nothing thrilling and wowsy here. There's nothing that's getting my heart beating. Have fun with your descriptions. Have fun with the way you handle things. You might decide here that you make a multitude. I'm holding my Option key and my Shift key down here. You might decide that this whole thing is many different color boxes. Are you guys hearing like this high frequency?
Yes.
I'm so glad you are, because sometimes I worry it's just me. So maybe what you decide is this whole side of the menu is different sandwiches. I want the red sandwich, the green sandwich, the blue sandwich, right? That's maybe your wine list, your martini bar menu, your something like that. I don't want to get too deep into this. I'm trying to think of what else I was going to show you. If this is Carolina's bagel menu, let me show you this. When you make something that's die cut into a circle like this, let's not worry about which way it opens. Basically, you have a semicircle and a semicircle, right? And there's something called a spot color, which did we review this yet? Not really. Okay. So, what time? How much time do we have? I will come prepared to class with super cool, mega whammy, wonderful books with special effects of paper and coatings and finishes for you next week. Rather than interrupt this demo and have me stop, I'm going to keep on going. But I will bring that, because if you want something die cut, you will use a spot color and call it a die line. Die cut means the printer makes a razor cut, the shape like a circle, through each piece of paper, okay? And literally pops it out. So you, pardon me? Any shape on the planet. You dream it, they do it. The only problem is when it gets super complex or fine, the paper, like if you guys have ever bought those greeting cards that have, what's it called, laser cut out, lacy kind of stuff, when it gets that fine, it's difficult, but yes, any shape on the planet, for sure. So basically, this menu is going to print on a piece of paper the size of the magazine. It's going to print, it's going to bleed, it's going to have all this design stuff, and then it's going to cut out your shape. So let's not worry about the inside of this menu. Let's just go back to the front pages here, the inside, outside, and make your C. So your bagel. So you can use a shape. You can do this in InDesign. I'm doing it. You can do it in Illustrator too. I can go to the ellipse tool. I can start here, hold my Shift key down, create a circle, which went border to border, right? All right. And I'm going to move this exactly to the center, because now each side I've got my C, right? All right. And what you do to define a die line is you use something called a spot color. So I can go to my swatches. I can create a new color, swatch. I'm going to change it from color mode, from color type, from process to spot. And in this little swatch thing on the right, on the bottom where I'm wiggling my cursor, you're going to see one of those squares is going to have a little dot, a spot in it when I'm done. And I can just pump up my magenta, take down all my other colors because you want to make it some obnoxious color that you're going to notice. And we're going to call this die line. So the printer knows that this die line doesn't print. They know we're going to make a razor blade shaped like this shape, and it's going to cut things out. And you're going to hand your printer your prototype so the printer knows what you're talking about when it sees your artwork. That's why when you come to class next week, you're going to have a full-size prototype of your menu, all sketched out. Not fancy-dancy, just sketched. And so here we go. We say, okay, and now if you look at my swatches right here, see the last one called die line with a dot in it? That means it knows that that's your die cut. Now, we aren't cutting out the entire circle. We're just cutting out an outline of it. So I'm just stroking it that shape. Can you see the stroke? Okay. Now I can take this shape. I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to go to Edit, Paste, and Place, and a circle sitting on a circle here, right? And I'm going to hold my Shift key down, and I'm going to make the center of my bagel that big, right? And stick it right there. And I want to center it top and bottom and right and left. So I can take both, marquee both of my circles, my die lines. I can go to Window, Object, Layout, Align. I told you I love this. I want to align everything to my page, to my spread, sorry, my two crossover pages. I wish to center them, and I wish to vertically center them. See it move? That was it. Now I know they're great, and when they fold, they're going to be perfect. Yeah? That's it. It's a die line. It's not like brain surgery. The other part of this is I would probably cut it, Command X. I would go to my master pages right here, both of them, and I would probably paste it here, Edit, Paste in Place, so it goes in the perfect position again. And now it shows up on all my pages, and I don't have to worry about it. And now, if this really were a menu that were in that circle, I'd have to design based on that. Yeah? Okay. If I'm Anuja and I want some beautiful saffron paper on top of my saffron logo, okay? Let's do this. Let's pretend, okay. What are we going to do? I'm going to take my little pen tool and I'm going to stroke it with black, and I'm going to make the most unattractive S of your life. And so I'm so sorry. Okay? But it's a vector shape in InDesign for your logo. And I'm going to go on the internet and I'm going to type rice paper. Rice paper background. I purchased it at Art Essentials and I scanned it on my scanner. I have it. I used it for a logo design. No, I used it for the backside sheet of a stationery design package. If you guys have an interest, I'll show you. But look at this. Do you think that could be saffron threads if they were orange? Oh, you can't see it, can you? Oh, yeah, it's too hard to see for sure. Let's try this one.
Yeah.
That one's actually like wheat. Who had the wheat? That's D'Angelo Bakery's logo, right? There you go, wheat, right? Little grains of wheat. All right, so you get the idea. You find a texture. So I'm stealing this. I have no reason to steal it. I don't own it. I'm stealing it. You get that, you guys? It's stolen. So find a royalty-free public domain source, or go buy yourself a piece of paper and lay it flat on a scanner and scan it, truly. But I want to save the image so you can see what we could do to it. Yes, sir.
So that would be fine to use a picture as a background, or like to use the texture as a
The
background.
texture,
Yeah.
yeah. Like, I want you to be able to have texture paper if you need. You see the watermarks on this
Yeah.
thing? That's a website you could buy it from. I'd rather personally own the paper and scan it myself on a scanner here, and then I get paper and a scan, right? Instead of paying somebody money for the image. And then let me open Photoshop. Actually, now that I think about this, there's a way to do this in InDesign, but it's not as much fun. Okay. What's that song? I'm just mad about saffron. Do you know that song? Does anybody know that? Isn't that Beatles? It's a Beatles song.
No.
Are you sure? You don't think so? I'm going to look it up.
It's definitely not the
Will you look it up, please? Thank you.
It's random, but you could be thinking of I don't know, I think it's Savoy truffle or something.
You think?
Well, because it just sounds similar.
Oh, look at this. Look how beautiful these are. Yeah?
Donovan.
Donovan. Oh, you guys don't know Donovan. That was a song.
Probably about 1969.
It's going to be your theme song. You could, wouldn't it be beautiful to pick up saffron textures, right? All right. So I'm stealing this for the sole purpose of grabbing this beautiful color. So here we are. I'm going to open in Photoshop. Come on, Photoshop. Photoshop should be fully loaded here. Let's try.
The one takeaway of this lesson is that we're really just playing with toys here.
Yeah, but is this helping you thinking of fun ideas? I'm getting nods. Okay, that's why I do it. Okay, so here we could find, for example, we're going to find the image I stole, that paper, so you guys can see it because it's such a fine background. And rice paper would be more subtle. I think I saved it on the desktop. Let's see. Maybe not. There. Okay, so you could do a few things to this if you chose in Photoshop if you're not familiar with Photoshop. Who's never used Photoshop? Okay, so Photoshop's, I think you probably did, but Photoshop's kind of like,
Who's never?
never,
Oh, sorry.
never.
Who's
Okay,
ever?
Photoshop, like all Adobe software, it all has these same interfaces, you can tell. You can see they're similar. But Photoshop's weird. It works in layers, and it doesn't work like Illustrator. They're just different animals. So I'm just playing with this to tinker to give you an idea. So for example, here's our background. We did this, I think, with image resolution we had talked about previously in this class when we went off on some tangent. But you would be changing this to CMYK, not RGB, to use it for print. Don't forget that. You'd also want to make sure that your image was at high resolution. Don't forget that. Here it is. We're good. 300 pixels per inch. We're fine. One of the things I was going to suggest is I was going to open that saffron screen capture I did. It was such a pretty color. There. And I don't know. Let me just copy this. Let me just select all, copy, close, paste, tiny. But I put it in the document and notice it made another layer. This background layer is locked while you have a lock sign. To unlock it, you double click and say unlock, and now it's an unlock layer. But I can simply select that red, that beautiful saffron red. I can turn off this layer. I can go back to this layer down here, and I can play with it. I can make a new layer, for example, above it. I made a new layer down at the bottom, which is add layer. I can take this foreground color. I can go to edit this layer with my spinning wheel. I'm not doing anything that exciting either. There, okay. Edit the layer, fill the layer, fill it with what? The background color, I mean the foreground color, which was that red and it changed now. I'm sorry. Don't know why it changed. Why did it change? Let's try it again. Pretty red, new layer, turn off the eye on the layer above it. On the second layer, go to edit, go to fill, fill with that pretty orange red, say okay, it fills it. The thing when you're in Photoshop is there's something in the bottom right in this layers panel right there called layer blending modes. I can multiply the color and the texture shows up. I can get all kinds of weird effects, screen. By playing with layer blending modes, when you have a color on top, it interacts with what's behind you. So overlay to me would look like saffron threads, probably the most easily accomplished. But you can play with these endlessly. I know you're like a Photoshop queen, so I'm like speaking to the goddess of Photoshop, so silly me. But did you like that, Brendan? Right? She is, isn't she? Yeah. So, so here's her saffron. So we're just going to name this as saffron. So you took rice paper, you took a color, right? Nobody copyrights the rice paper. We're going to call this saffron texture. We're going to leave it as a PSD. Here we are. We're in InDesign. We have this shape that has no fill, no anything. The shape is active. We hit Command D for File Place, and we're going to locate our saffron image and place it in there. And in your beautiful logo, that is letter type, logo type. You now have maybe a texture in there to create saffron threads or something like that. So, or, for example, on the back of Venusia's menu, we can, let me get rid of our die line for a second. On the back of Venusia's menu, as a background, because she wanted saffron rice paper, we can hit Command D, go to the saffron paper, click open. I'm placing it, might not be big enough. You need to have a bleed. And obviously the resolution's too low resolution. But bleeds off the edge of the page. Object fitting, fill the content to the frame. It's going to be rasterized and really crummy looking because it's a low resolution image and you would never do this. And you go to Object, Arrange, Send to Back. So if it were a higher resolution. Now, that might be really nice for a white on white look, but this menu is completely unreadable, right? Because it's too busy. But it gives you an idea of things that you might want to be able to do if you want a paper texture background or something. All right. Is there anything, I don't want to keep rambling. I've shown you style sheets. I've shown you die lines. I showed you spreads. In a document like this page is your cover. That's your cover. And this is your outside back cover. There. Okay. I've shown you how to make unusual shapes in your menu. Let's say you decide that you want a menu that is, let me try a different thing. Let's say you want a menu that's like this. You take this shape, you add your bagel, they're both stroked with a big beefy orange so you guys can see it, right? This pink line means that I hit the center of my page. I can select both of these right here, and I can go to my Pathfinder tool in InDesign, same tool found in Illustrator, and I can merge all those three shapes, big rectangle, two circles, and that's the die line. So now my menu, this is like you guys don't even know what a telephone book is, do you? Do you guys know what telephone books are? Has anybody ever seen a telephone directory?
Yes.
But it's true. It used to be like, how strong are you? Can you tear a telephone directory? So now I've created a die line that looks like that. Does everybody understand that? So now instead of your bagel menu looking like this, you have your little circle logo sitting at the top of the page here, right? And let's now make this swatch die line color. Let's make it 1 point. Let's cut it out. Let's put it on our master pages, right? So now our menu, let's get rid of this guy so we can see what we're doing. So now our menu, for example, might be this. So now our menu might start here because that's the top trim. Does everybody get me? All right. So now you understand die lines, how to do them. You understand spot colors. If you're in Nuja and you want fluorescent orange saffron, you can go, when you're in Illustrator, Illustrator is a harder place to locate it, and make a new Illustrator document. Spinning. Well, while we're spinning, anybody got questions? When it's due, it needs to be printed, beautifully printed, perfectly printed, no chewing gum holding it together, and it also needs to be in a styled photograph, like the assignment page.
Like you put it on a table or something.
Like you put it on a table, exactly. So why did I gotta make this, I'm so used to going to those links for you guys. Restaurant, there we go. So if your menu's one-sided only or two-sided and that's how you show it, style the shot like that. Or you're not gonna do a wall one, but I just liked it. Or if you decide that your menu is gonna be a 3-page menu and they're graduated pages, I gotta show you that too. Then you will bring it like that with the board, okay? With the board. You know, if it does not, could be 2. It has to be 2. It has to be a front and a back. And it cannot be a wall menu and it cannot be a chalkboard. It has to be printed paper menu. This reminded me of something. Oh, graduated pages. When you're, I'll get to that in 1 second. So here we are in Illustrator, and I was showing you Oh, how to create a color swatch in Illustrator using a spot color that's a fluorescent. So you've made your beautiful S logo, right? And you need a color for it that's saffron fluorescent, orange, crazy orange, or shocking pink like the beautiful interiors, right? In Illustrator, I'm going to show it to you, you would go to Swatch Library, Color Books, which finds Pantone colors, and you would go to neons. They don't call them fluorescents, they call them neons. And then it gives you an entire selection of crazy neon options. Let's see. There. So maybe you'd be using that one. Oh, it doesn't look very neon to me, but looks like, I don't know. Looks like, yeah, looks like raspberry ice cream. Right, Pepto-Bismol. Yeah, exactly. It's brighter on my screen, but yeah, it looks pretty pathetic. But anyway, that's where you'd find him. Next week, I will bring in paper samples. I will bring in Pantone swatch books to look at. I will look at surfaces that you can dream of, so you know how to specify them. If you wanted to add a foil, let's say you have a restaurant in your logo and you want it to be very expensive and you want gold foil, you would do gold foil exactly like you do a die line. For example, you would make a spot color, new color swatch. You'd make it a spot. I'm in InDesign now. I switched on you. It's going to be gold foil or silver foil. And here's your swatch. Hang on one second. I see ya. Let me make it some screamy color, not black. And then if you, for example, wanted a foil circle here because you wanted a gold bagel and you filled it with foil, not stroked it, you filled it, that whole thing would be a foil. That's how you would differentiate foils when you design something for print.
For that, could you use a clipping match just to get the effect of it, or is that not? Like use an image of foil and clip it to the shape?
Oh, an image of foil for real, for the artwork for the, yeah, that's like background to me, yeah. This is for printing, and here's one more thing I want to confuse you with, which is when a printer receives a file, they receive the file and they do something to it called, they check out the separations. So when they look at your file, they look to see what colors you use to print it, and they turn on separations. So all the color work that's done here, let's forget the fact that this box should not have that on it. There we go. Oh, nor should those. When they look at your file, they're going to say, oh, it prints with CMYK, process color. And they'll pull up this separation preview, window, output, separation. And they'll turn it off, and that's all your ink. And then they'll look and they say, well, what's that pink line? And they realize they have to make a die line to trim out the paper using that. All right? Or what's that big sun, that yellow circle? Oh, it's foil. And then you would tell them what type of foil to use. And next week I'll show you samples of that. Okay? And I want you to think about these for the purpose of being excited and being inspired. You know, maybe you decide that you have a sushi restaurant and your logo should be the color of the seaweed paper wrapping sushi with a little texture on it. Wouldn't that be cool? Or maybe you want to add a texture on it. You'd find out if there was a foil or a paper or an embossing that could create that. Or maybe you wanted to emboss chopsticks into your menu for a sushi restaurant and just have them bump up. You would do that by creating something that is called embossing. I'll show you that more later. Okay? What's that? It would technically be that.
I was just checking.
It's just my brain can't shut down. Yeah, wouldn't that be fun? It would be fun. Spreads. And then how you would output a spread to make your book one piece of paper when you create a PDF for it. I just want to have a background color so you understand colors that bleed. So remember how I said you're not going to use this terrible background because it's poor resolution. Okay. So save it. Now, to output this menu so it's one sheet of paper so you can print it and then fold it in half, you would save it. You will package it. Does everybody remember packaging? You save your file. You're going to package it. It's going to find all your files, all your fonts. You're going to package it here. Continue. It's going in here, the menu folder. We're going to package it. We're going to say, okay. We're not going to steal the font. It tells me about the transparencies. Okay, I get it. And then to make the PDF of this file, you go to File, PDF Preset, High Quality Print. We're only going to print pages 2 to 5. We're going to save our PDF in this folder. We're going to call it Spreads. We're going to say Save. Then we're going to get a dialog box, and we're going to check Spreads. We're going to check pages 2 through 5. We're going to go to crop marks because we want crop marks. We wish to use our bleed settings that we set up. And usually I check page information. And when we export it, we want to see it, which is there. And now we're looking at how it would print, literally. That's our front cover. Our back cover prints on one side. The inside spreads fit on the other side, print on the other side. And the printer has everything they need. With color as a background, it extends beyond the crop marks, beyond the trim. Does everybody follow that? All right, this was a major crash course in setting up a print document. Are there any questions? I feel like there was something I was going to show you, but I forgot. What's that?
Graduated pages.
Oh, graduated pages. Graduated pages are really easy fun. So if you're only making a 2-sided menu, let's say you're making a 3-page menu, graduated pages. Let's just save this and close it. I'm going to make a new document. And let's say they're 8.5 by 11, which they probably won't be because that would be boring. So let's make them 7 inches by 13 inches. That'll fit on a tabloid sheet of paper, right? All right. And we have a 3-page document because it's that, this guy, Julian, right? And here's our document. We're going to build in our bleed. Thanks for remembering that. We'll probably change our margins to something more interesting, and we'll probably change our columns to something more interesting. Actually, we'll probably only have 2 because it's narrow. And we say, okay. And now we have a document that is 3 pages. And at the bottom of our document, we're going to have a box of a color. 1 page is appetizers, 1 page is entrees, and the other is desserts. And we go to the eyedropper tool, and this one is appetizers. And then I'm going to copy this, bring it down to there. Let's make it 10 inches. Copy it. And on this page, I'm going to paste it in place, and I'm going to make it a different color. And different color. Okay. So now we have 3 pages. They're all identical in size, and we want to stair step them. So our top one is the shortest, and we want to stair step it by 1/2 inch. If you look at that, maybe it's 1/2 inch. And so the first one, The last one's going to be full size. The first one will be an inch shorter. So that right here in the second tool called Page Tool, I'm on my first page. I click on it, and notice I get these what looks like scrapbook corners to it. And I'm going to change my document, this page, to be 12 inches. There we go. And there we go. Now I double click on this one, and I'm going to change this one to be 12.5 inches. And now I have a document that has the menu items, just different page heights. So when I crop it, so let me save my document. So when I crop it, Adobe PDF preset, high quality print, graduated pages, export. I should have made crop marks. If I view them, can you see one's longer than the other? Yeah. There you go.
Why is the color? Oh,
Oh, because it's just wonky. Yeah, exactly. So what I really show you to make it clearer for you is, let me just do this. And let me change my page to be wide for you. So this is a 13-inch wide. This is a 7-inch tall. And here, I hit Command D. I'm just playing right now. I'm going to show import options. I'm going to say open. I'm going to take all. Oh, let me do something else different. Here. Let me just give the pages a color so you can see them when I'm demoing something. There. Save it. PDF preset high quality print. Graduated pages PDF. Save it. All of them. Save it. Okay. Close it. This is what I want to show you. On this page, there. Show import options. Let's do range 1 to 3. So let me tell you what I did, because you might appreciate it. I realize I'm going too fast. So I'm making pages. I made graduated pages and showed you how to do it using the page tool. The page height is different heights. Yes? That's all I did. Then Madison said, but they're out of alignment. So what we really did is this. I made a PDF at 100% scale. This is my demo page for you, just to show you. But what you should know, just for fun, which is why I decided to slow this down, is I can go to, right now, File Place. I can place my PDF example to you in InDesign. If I click Show Import Options, it will give me choices to show only one page, all the pages, or a range of pages. I only want to place the first 3 pages. My cursor is going to load with a page here. And if I start at exactly the same height, it's going to stop me at the right width, probably. We'll see. There we go. We'll just see. That actually is going to be the longest one. So let me make this 3625 wide. 3625 wide. 3625 wide. And what did I do? But you get the idea, right? I did that. What it should be is, let me do that again. Let me do that. Okay. So 2.5 wide. Two and a half wide. That's what I was trying to do for you. 2.5 wide. So all the colors line up, but they will stagger below each other. So when you set them up as a menu, they'll be the same width. That one's going to go in the back. That one will be in the front. Right? You all get what I was doing? So that's how you would have 3 pages that look like this thing on the right here. Okay. How do we do? That useful? Useful. That's a big crash course in InDesign, truthfully. Crash course in paragraph style sheets. Crash course in page tool for page sizes. Crash course in how to die cut something to make an interesting shape out of your menu. A crash course in also how to inset spacing so your type doesn't touch the edge of the box. And that was a lot of stuff. But John's got it all on video. So anything else? So next week when you come, please come with a completed design brief, sketches, and logos, and some menu concepts. How's that? Cool? Sounds good? Okay, have a beautiful week, everybody.